We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs.
Oh, snap.
Here we are with 157 rankings, baby. And we
What
got
the crowd has been demanding.
the crowd has been demanding more Mike Long. So look what we got. We
I'm
got
back.
it, baby.
Just got the new house, moved, got married. My wife will probably be walking around yelling in the background
It's
because
all
that's my life now.
all right. So here we go. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Kaboom.
Boom.
There it is. That's what we got for you. We'll go break it down.
Just soak it in.
Starting at the top, working our way down. So 157. Now, I know this is probably going to be a shocker for most of you. It was a shocker for me in the sense that I disagreed with both Mike and Jack on this. So, I mean, maybe not a shock, but I personally did not think that Tyler Kasak should be number one. But we as a collective at Cactus did decide that Tyler Kasak is the number one guy for 157
He's a
after his
dog.
7 wins in a row at 149 after losing in the first round. So, I mean, obviously, Flo, Internet, WrestleStat, none of them agree with that. They all think Ja'Cory Teemer, the returning runner-up at this weight, should be number one, which there is a very good argument for that. My main argument for not in favor of Ja'Cory Teemer is the fact that he transferred to Iowa.
I was just about to say, I was like, that's where careers go to get worse.
Yeah, like that is literally like if Ja'Cory Teemer had transferred to any other school, I would be like, he's gonna be the guy, no question, 100%. I mean, I'm not saying Tyler Kasak's gonna be the guy to win it, but I would have infinitely more confidence in Teemer's ability to win the title if he had not transferred to Iowa.
Yeah.
That being
I
said,
mean,
I'm not surprised that he did pick Iowa.
yeah. My thing, and not because I'm like, oh, I hate Iowa. It's like Ja'Cory Teemer has had an injury history, like a well-documented injury history. I think Iowa's methods of like, we're just going to go super hard and we're going to go through the wall kind of mentality bodes well for a lot of guys, especially when they're young and they're fresh. Ja'Cory Teemer is neither of those things. He
Nope.
has had a long career with a lot of injuries in high school and in college. And I think that their style of training, the Iowa way, is going to burn him out. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do as well as he has in the past.
Watch him have Jaden Ironman's final season.
Yeah. I mean, watching Ja'Cory Teemer in the finals against Levi Haynes last year, I'm like, wow, he's not that good. Like, he did nothing against Levi Haynes. And
Okay, that's fair. He didn't really, yeah, but yeah.
But and Ja'Cory Teemer is a guy that I've followed forever. I mean, he was one of the best New York State wrestlers of all time.
Yep.
And I think he's got all the natural ability, but
He's definitely in the mix to being in the national finals, definitely in the mix for that title.
yeah,
But I mean, honestly, I if you guys didn't overrule me, I probably would have Teamer sitting at 1 despite Iowa being where he's at least before the season starts.
I could see an argument for him as the preseason number one, but I think at the end of the year, Kasak will beat him.
There's a good point. Yes.
Um,
But also moving down to number 3,
well,
Meyer
this is
Shapiro.
I'm tough with this. This one's tough.
Meyer Shapiro, I could see also him beating
Yeah.
Teamer.
Yep. When watching his freestyle and guys that know that this channel know I love freestyle, especially U20s. Watching Meyer in the same year that Mitchell Messenbrink was this force at the world stage. Meyer was the same thing, and coming into it, everyone had these huge expectations for him. He's going to do this. It's not even going to be close. He's going to run through the national championship, and everyone was so much like, how's Levi Haynes going to be able to hold up against someone like Meyer Shapiro? Really not giving anybody even a chance. And I know he's had concussion issues. Some people will deny that and say it's just, it was other things. We have a very good source that said that's what it was. And, we saw that he still had issues after NCAA's at the Olympic team trials. He got beat down by Ladarian Lockett, who previously he had worked.
Yeah.
And yes, Lockett did get better. But after a year of wrestling in college as a top Division I wrestler, you'd expect Meyer to still be, the better wrestler.
And the high
Um,
American freaking finish.
yeah. So I could see a realistic reason for him to be the top guy in this weight class, but I could also see him falling and having, issues again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he definitely was plagued with some injuries that were messing him up um throughout the season. So like there was at times where we were really questioning, is he even going to be as good as we thought he was? And then I mean
Yeah.
he managed to finish third, which was much higher than his season would have led you to think.
Yeah, I mean, 29-3, pretty good year.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, like for, freshman.
Yeah, no, for a freshman, that's a phenomenal season.
But
And Cornell has been known to build off of that. So like
mhm.
you're gonna think Shapiro's probably gonna be hedging to be in that national finals match.
But it's the way that he kind of wrestled at NCAA's. Even though he took third, it's the way that he wrestled, and then his follow up in freestyle after that, which
Yeah.
made me a little bit concerned. And we've talked about this in nauseum. Freestyle and folk style are different styles; they don't exactly translate, but sometimes results are results, and that's what I'm interested in. To see is which Meyer Shapiro are we gonna get next season,
Right.
and can it last?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very true. So number 4, we got Peyton Keller, who is in the NWCA All-Star Classic against Tyler Kasak.
So it'll be
Ooh.
a first it'll be a good first look to see how these guys, how do our rankings stack up?
Right. Well, honestly, I'd love to see Keller win that match. Because I mean, one, it's at Penn State,
Yeah.
so for home field advantage not being an advantage. Like, also, I mean, Mike, you said it before. You love the fact that there's a small school like
Yeah.
Ohio
Hmm.
having
Yeah.
having a guy this like ranked this high, because you
It's
don't
awesome.
see, yeah, you don't see a ton of that where there's just like the one stray guy.
It's so rare now, especially with the days of NIL and guys have a good season and they transfer to a Penn State, they transfer to an Iowa, a Michigan. They transfer out, and it's so awesome to see someone that's like, nope, this is my team, this is where I'm at, and I'm sticking with them and we're riding. Um, and I mean, you'll look at the list, just you know, most of these other guys are big, well-known teams. Um,
Yeah.
Rarely do you have a team like Ohio, and a lot of a lot of younger wrestlers almost want to correct me, like, "Do you mean Ohio State?" It's like, no, 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 Ohio University.
Right.
Um, it. He's had just a tremendous jump. Was a national qualifier to fifth. Um, hope to see him, move up the podium a little bit more, but it's going to be tough with the guys that are there.
If he
And
beats K-Sac in the All-Star Classic,
yeah,
that'll be a good
if he
good
beats
indication.
Kasak, that'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that'll be great. So then we got coming down from 165, Super Grip,
Oh my
Antrell
gosh,
Taylor. Honestly, if this weight cut isn't too big for him,
he will be a force.
I think, he may start the season ranked 5, but he could slide up
Yeah,
very
I
quickly.
mean, we saw how he was able to limit Mitchell Messenbrink,
Hmm.
and
Which is crazy.
but just like you said, the biggest thing is, can he handle the weight cut?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I mean,
nearly 10
maybe he
pounds,
was a small 65.
but by God, is he strong?
Right? Yeah. So like maybe he was only like weighing like 161 or something, and now it's like
Yeah.
4 pounds. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and then we got Ryder Downey on his sophomore season here. Round of 12 guy. I mean, I like Ryder. I mean, I think he
Yeah.
managed to win the Big 12s against what's his face from Iowa State, who's redshirting. Chittum.
Yep. Cody Chittum.
Yeah, he managed to edge out Chittum. He got a high seed at NCAAs. I mean, he had a really good freshman season.
Oh
So I,
yeah.
I feel like where he's at is probably accurate. Um, Ed, Sc-
Another kind of smaller school guy as well, with
yeah,
it being
yeah,
Northern
that's
Iowa.
yeah, exactly. You and I, yeah. So yeah, you like to see that.
Yeah.
Ed Scott, if he All Americans, I mean, I don't think he will.
It's tough because like NC State on paper always has such a good team, and then they kind of
They
fall
are a
apart when it
good
comes to.
team.
They just have a hard time being a great team.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
You
they're
know,
always highly ranked. They always kind of underperform. Like, I mean, Trent Hidlay always did what he should. Hayden
yeah,
Hidlay almost always did what he should, and except for when he got screwed against Nolf.
that was a good call.
No, that was not. But anyhow, I mean, yeah, we got Ed Scott ranked in All-American range. He's All-American in the past, but honestly, I bet there's going to be somebody that is going to pass him.
He's
There-
a boomer bust. That's
yeah,
I see him as like he can go with some of these top guys, and then he can take a weird loss, and it's like, well, what happened? And then he'll go,
yeah.
beat
So
another top guy, and then he'll take another weird loss.
right,
Um,
yeah. Um, so yeah, Ed Scott, I don't have a ton of high hope for. Moving down, we got Tommy Askey, formerly of Appalachian State, round of 12 guy from last year, wrestling for Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota I feel like they do a good job of developing these guys that are kind of,
middle ground.
yeah, middle ground. Like you don't really hear their name doing a lot of stuff, and then out of nowhere they have a Vince Von Bar, and you know, I mean, they get guys that like kind of not out of nowhere, but out of nowhere, like make the podium or get close. Like, I mean, this guy was around 12, so like, they do a good job with what they have, but then they get guys that transfer out every year. They don't usually get a lot of transfers. I know they just got Cooper Flynn, but we're straying from this weight class. So moving down, Teague Travis making his mark with David Taylor this year. So we'll see
I
if he
think
can
he could do better than this.
right round of
I
16. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, how much do you want to put into like the new Taylor era? Is it going to be, and again, it's not to take away from John Smith, who was an incredible wrestler, an incredible coach, but what can new blood bring into the program?
Hmm.
And a lot of guys are thinking, okay, these Oklahoma State guys are going to take a big jump, and it's totally possible. But it's also totally possible that it doesn't change as much as we think.
Yeah. Yeah. Not, yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see. I also wouldn't be surprised if Teague Travis maintained and was like round 12, round 16 range. Then we got Johnny Lovett for Central Michigan, I mean, he's always been a guy that's like solid guy, but not really one of the top tier guys. Uh, I think I we got him right now at 10. He's one of those guys that I could see falling down the rankings as these younger guns kind of beat him.
Yeah,
That's kind of what
I
I
always
have happen.
I always thought him and Ridge were brothers. I don't even think they're cousins.
I don't even think they're related at all. Yeah.
No, I don't think they're related at all. Because I always used to be like, "Oh, love it! Like that must be Ridge's brother," and I don't think that's the case at all.
Nope, nope, nope. Then moving down, we got Pinero's return. The gambling.
The gambler got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him.
Yeah. Pinero Johnson, boom, up a weight and back and better than ever, hopefully, for Iowa State's sake.
I
Um,
think this is a guy that's going to potentially do some damage.
Honestly, I have a feeling when he was at 49, the reason he didn't perform as well as he could or we thought would have was probably he
Way
was
too
too
much.
heavy. I think the weight cut was probably too much for
Yeah,
him, which is why he had those big wins and then also these like losses where I was like, I really thought this guy was going to do more. It's probably because he wasn't managing his weight
yeah.
well enough. So I think moving up to 57, he's going to be a bit more of a consistent force, hopefully for his case or sake.
I would agree with you there. I think that, with Pinheiro, especially having like his sickle cell disease that he has, or he has something similar to sickle cell. I always forget this. I know it's similar, but maybe not exactly.
Yep.
I think that the cutting of weight really fatigues him, and that's why we always see him look so drained sometimes in matches. And so, allowing him to be a little bit bigger will probably allow him to have these bigger swings of, ability where, just like you said, he'll beat a really good guy and then he'll be in a dogfight with a guy that's not as good.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see a hopefully more consistent Pierre Johnson. And, we have him as 11 now based on his past, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of claw his way up this list.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, especially for Iowa State's. I feel that they're
Yeah.
on the rise or has been on the rise. Uh, the return at 12, Patty Gallagher gets back from injury. I mean, injuries is definitely what holds this guy back the most. He's always a tough opponent. He can hang with most guys,
Mhm.
even when he's losing. So Ohio State's got a solid guy in Patty Gallagher. I think he definitely could potentially return to form of round of 16, round of 12. I don't think he'll be an All-American threat necessarily. I just don't think he's got quite the offense for it, and the scoring ability. But yeah, definitely will be an NCAA qualifier and probably in that round of 12, round of 16 contention. Then we got our count them, 5 honorable mention. We just couldn't pick between them to limit it to 4, so we had 5.
The Zurban.
The Zerbinator. Only what was he undefeated going into nationals or had 1 loss? I forget. It was one or the other. I think it was 1 loss going into nationals, and then he lost at the freaking no, going into the conference.
Yeah.
And then lost in the conference twice or something, and then nationals like went 1 and 2. Like he I really wanted him to beat Levi just because the history there, but whatever. Chase Saldate, he's back for round 5. Will he improve upon 2 years ago, round 12, where he's now at Michigan? Probably not. Maybe he'll get back there. We'll see.
I don't
I don't
know.
have high hopes for this guy.
Check out our Michigan video, find out more.
Yeah, exactly. Trevor Chumbley, same thing. I don't think he's going to do any better than round of 12 or round 16. I don't even think he'll get round of 12, which is why he's honorable mention. I think he is one of the top guys in the weight, but he's not near the tip top making All-American status. Then we got Joey Blaze. Now, many of you may know his younger brother, who's going to be a household name if he isn't already. But I mean, he had a pretty solid season. He was real competitive. I think he made a lot of gains this past year.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see him. I feel like he has that upset potential of knocking off, similar to his brother, knocking off these higher named guys and starting to make a name for himself. Which I would love to see, especially from a school like Purdue.
I remember when he beat Ed Scott, and we talked about this a little bit. Is guys make that big jump typically between like a freshman to a sophomore year.
Yep.
So I'm hoping he can make a pretty good jump and be within striking distance, and build upon that national qualifier. Maybe be round of 16, maybe even around a 12 guy.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think he's definitely capable of that. That's the opposite of what we've been talking about the past few guys.
Yeah.
And then to round it off, our last honorable mention, Kobe Seabrick, hot out of Iowa.
Part of that big group of guys that transferred out. I mean,
Yeah.
what's going on in Iowa City?
Yeah, Iowa is loving the transfers more than their own homegrown guys and realizing they don't know how to home grow. So they just need to kick their own guys out so that they can make room for these transfers.
Rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Especially a guy like Glazier.
Yeah, right.
He was
Did
in the
everything
running,
you want.
paid
Yeah.
his dues, got the spot. What do? They find one of the best guys in the country at that weight. So Kobe Seabrick, I mean, I think he's more in the line with Chumbly, Soldat.
Yeah, I think he's a qualifier.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's like, he's pretty good, pretty good, and he'll win his duels. He'll if anyone even does tournaments anymore, I don't even know if that's even a thing in college now. It seems like guys wrestle as little as possible.
Yeah, they do some open tournaments. They do the Soldier Salute. They do
Yeah,
Vegas, and they do
well, guys say they're going to those, but most guys end up backing out. A lot of the guys that you'd look for, they're like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
no,
I'm not doing Cliff
what
Keen,
they
I'm not
could
doing.
be and what they are very different. But yeah.
Yep.
So there you have it. 157. There are our rankings. Love it or hate it. Let us know what you think. Do we have it right? Do we have it wrong? Where are we right? Where are we wrong? Who did we miss? Is there someone that should have been in this mix? I don't think so. We got it right.
Perfect.
So yeah. Love to hear from you down in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, we are Cactus Wrestling.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets. It's all about the Mets.
All about the Mets, baby.
That's what Jack's singing right now.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.